Oh, I'm flossing. Tell little bitch get up. Hit it once, had a feeling nauseous.
What's up, NBA YouTube? It's JJ Buckets coming at you with a new video, and I thought we'd have some fun today and play some NBA Would You Rather. Now, if any of you guys want to go check this out, I'll leave the link to their Instagram below. It's one of my favorite pages on Instagram. Basically, you guys all know how Would You Rather works. It gives you two scenarios where you get to pick, would you rather do option A or would you rather do option B? Now, I'm not going to keep us on the hook for too much longer, so let's get started and let's have some fun. So, the first one here is, would you rather have A, East versus West, or B, 1-16 seeding for the NBA playoffs? Now, I know a lot of people have gone behind the idea of playing 1 versus 16 because, you know, there's years where the Western Conference does seem better than the Eastern Conference. But I'm going to have to go with A, the East versus West format that we have right now. And I'll break down for you why I would rather have that. I mean, first, you know, the issues of travel, I get a lot of people want to gloss over that and be like, hey, you know what, like, they're NBA players, they should be able to deal with it. But just the issues of travel between, say, two locations that are really on opposite ends. Like, imagine having a series between a team like Golden State that's on the West End entirely and a team like Miami that's, you know, all the way out east. You know, these players would be hauling back and forth like crazy. Like, the travel would take a toll on them, and I feel like you'd get NBA action that's not as good as what you get. And the other issue, I think, is the issue of just the time. Like, it makes a lot of sense to have series between, say, two Western Conference teams, because on the East End, obviously, like, these are going to be 10 p.m. games, but on the West End, you know, these are 7 p.m. games, these are 6 p.m. games, and it just makes more sense for them. Whereas if you had series between, you know, again, two teams on complete opposite ends of the United States, you know, you'd have some trouble in terms of garnering viewership and, you know, having the East Enders tune in for the West End games, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I get that some people want to get just the best 16 teams in there, and I can totally understand that sentiment, but I think there's a few reasons why you would want to keep that East versus West format. I still think in the long run it makes more sense to viewership, you know, just the alignment, the travel, everything for the players, I think favors the East versus West concept more, and I think I would go A here. Now, the next one is, as your finals record, would you rather be A, 5-0, or B, 5-5? And now, this is kind of like, you know, the two guys pictured here are Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and I totally understand why somebody would rather be 5-0, but personally, I'm gonna go B. I'm gonna go 5-5, and if you're thinking that sounds weird, again, I'll explain it. I think, to me personally, 5-5 looks more impressive because think about it this way: you had a 15-year playing career, and let's say you were a superstar during that 15-year playing career. I think that's what is kind of the idea here. Sorry. That, you know, you're a superstar player and you're either 5-0 or 5-5. And at the end of the day, both of them have 5 championships, yes. And A looks really enticing because, oh, he never lost in the finals. But to me, the fact that, let's say you played for 15 years and you spent 10 of those years in the finals, that sounds more appealing to me, and that sounds more impressive to me. And I understand that, like, hey, listen, 5 of those years were a loss, but I've never been one to discredit somebody for, you know, a finals loss as much as some other people do. Like, some people just, for whatever reason, see it as more appealing to lose earlier in the playoffs than lose in the finals. I'm not with that group of people. I do think it is more impressive to get your team to the finals, even if you lose. You know, it's still more impressive to make it all the way there. And, you know, a record like 5-5 isn't bad by any means. You're 500 in the finals, and you've been to the finals 10 times in, say, a 15-year playing career, or even, whatever it be, like 16, 17, 18. The point here being, I think it's more impressive to make the finals and lose in the finals than it is to, just bow out in the first round, Now we're going to jump to the next one here. And we have, would you rather be 6'9" with the best athleticism or 5'7" with the best jump shot? Now that's an interesting one. I think both options really do have their appeal. I do think 6'9" with best athleticism is what I choose. I understand that, having the best jump shot on the game is really appealing and it can make you a productive player for sure. I just think with 6'9" with the best athleticism, you have more capability to carve out a long NBA career, and you have more opportunity to be dominant in different facets of the game. You could be a great defender if you had the best athleticism. Obviously, you'd be a great dunker. You could be a great finisher, a great slasher. I think you could carve out a better career being 6'9" with the best athleticism than you would being 5'7" with the better jump shot. Now we're going to jump to the next one, and it's, would you rather have A, Dwayne Wade, or B, Allen Iverson? Pretty straightforward, pretty simple. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because I have a decisive opinion, and this is a conversation I've actually had with friends debating basketball constantly. Or not constantly, because I do think the conversation ends rather quickly, but it's Dwayne Wade here. I think Dwayne Wade, as great as Allen Iverson was, I think Dwayne Wade is reasonably better than Iverson. I would struggle to pick out that many things that Allen Iverson definitively does better than Wade. And if you look at the career accomplishments, on top of the fact that I think Wade is just a better player, I don't think it's really that close. I think it's Dwayne Wade. I think he's a better leader, better defensive player. You could argue better scorer, better all-around game. I think it's Wade. Now, we're going to move on to the next one here. And would you rather have the dream team with LeBron or the redeem team with Michael Jordan? Now, one thing that does confuse me about this question is I don't know if it's implied that you would also still have Jordan on the dream team with LeBron, and vice versa. Would you, still have LeBron on the redeem team with Jordan? Personally, if that's the case, I would rather have, the dream team with LeBron, where you're getting Michael Jordan and LeBron and the dream team. But I think even if it is, you take out both of them from those teams and you can only have one player, for Olympic purposes, I think I'd rather have LeBron, who just kind of bullies everybody and has that great all-around game and that great passing ability to complement everybody around him. I don't really think this is a question that has a wrong answer per se. I think it's personal preference really, and I just think LeBron James is a guy that complements other players around him a little bit better than Michael Jordan does. Now, moving on to the next one, we're going to have, would you rather have the Suns without Devin Booker or the 2016-2017 Thunder without Russell Westbrook? I think this one's pretty easy too, if you ask me. I think I'd rather have the 2016-2017 Thunder without Russell Westbrook. Listen, I understand that the big narrative around that year was it was Russell Westbrook's year by himself and he was carrying the team, but I don't think that Thunder team was as bad as some people want to make it out to be. I think you had some decent pieces around there. This is of course before before Sabonis and Oladipo were gone, and obviously we have the benefit of hindsight now, knowing that Oladipo and Sabonis have become great players, good players, great players. And there's not much to say that maybe they couldn't have grown into that, without Russ being there. Obviously, I'm a huge Westbrook fan, but we all know the stories of guys that are leaving Westbrook and having better careers after they left him. And obviously, it's easy to say that now with the hindsight of Oladipo turning into, a borderline superstar, but I don't think it's that difficult of a choice. I think I'd rather have the Thunder in this scenario. And we are gonna end it off with, would you rather have the number 1 offense with the number 10 defense, or would you rather have the number 1 defense with the number 5 offense? Now, I think just the way it's put together here, it's a little bit more enticing to go with the number 1 defense with the number 1 offense. Listen, I'm somebody that, as much as I hate to say it, because I'm a huge fan of, playing hard defense and giving it my all on that end, and watching the same, obviously, from NBA superstars. In today's game, where offense leads the way, I think I would rather have the number 1 offense with the number 10 defense. I get it. On the surface, the B option here seems a little more enticing because you have top 5 in both categories and you have the number 1 defense. But at the same time, if you're talking about a 7-game series between two teams, great offense does beat great defense at the end of the day. You can defend a play as absolutely well as you can, and if somebody just gets a great shot off, then they get a great shot off, and they win that. And I think all it takes is 4 very good to great games from the number 1 offense, especially if it's the number 1 offense by a decent margin against that number 1 defense, and I think they would win in a series. Is that controversial? Maybe a little bit, because again, the other team's more well balanced, but obviously if you have the number 10 defense, you don't have a bad defensive team either. They're just maybe not as good. Argument works both ways there, but I'm going to stand by. I'm going to say I'd rather have the number 1 offense with the number 10 defense. And that's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of content. If you did, leave a like below. Let me know. Comment what you thought I was crazy for picking. And you could let me know that too if you really like the video. Subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next time.